Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Mornings with Mike. My name is Mike, and we're here on my channel, Faith and Fire. I appreciate you getting up and joining me this morning. As many of you know, I do this each Monday morning at 7 a.m. I would love for you to tune in and join me. We walk through some scripture in the Bible. I'd love to get your Monday morning started right and set the tone for your week. So this morning, we're going to dive right into it. I'm talking about Romans 12, verses 6 through 8. See, we got a few people watching, so thank you so much. I appreciate you. Do me a favor and just, if there's somebody that maybe could need a positive message this morning, go ahead and share this video out. I would really appreciate it, and probably so would they. So getting into the book of Romans, first off, what's this book about? I always read from this New Living Translation. This is titled Every Man's Bible. And it's just one that I've enjoyed for a number of years. So what's the book of Romans about? Romans is the Bible's most orderly and thorough presentation of the gospel message. It talks about different perspective in here. So perspective of justification. What's the real score with God? What's our real score with God? Where do you and I stand? And will we make heaven or not? This book lays out all the facts on what it takes to be acceptable to a holy God. So diving into this morning's scripture, I always try and touch on the scripture first and then a little bit of the lesson. So talking about Romans 12, verses 6 through 8. In His grace, God has given us different gifts for doing certain things well. So if God has given you the ability to prophesy, speak out with as much faith as God has given you. If your gift is serving others, serve them well. If you're a teacher, teach well. If your gift is to encourage others, be encouraging. If it's giving, give generously. If God has given you leadership ability, take the responsibility seriously. And if you have the gift for showing kindness to others, do it gladly. See, this spoke to me yesterday because of a conversation my teenage son and I had. And I know we've all been in positions in school or maybe teams growing up, like athletic teams, or maybe you're in this sort of position now at work where either us or someone that we know has had to take on a role that didn't suit them. Haven't we been in that position where it's like, hey, I'm put in this space and I'm supposed to perform and I'm supposed to produce, but this isn't my jam, right? We've been there. For example, right? You could be a really accomplished outside linebacker on the football team, and then all of a sudden you're asked to play center, and you're like, I don't even know where I'm headed or the way to move from this position. You could be a longtime history teacher filling in as a math substitute, right? Maybe you're watching this right now. You're a naturally amazing salesperson or marketer, and you get paired up with the CFO to help with accounting today. Or even our roles at home, right? We all have different roles that we serve in our homes, and it could be something like you could be a really good cook and want to be doing those things in your house, but you're asked to do the yard work, right? And so these things that shift us out of what it is that we're good at. And so as I was talking to my son and then reading this verse, and I'll share the story with you here, God gives us all a unique purpose, and we all have unique gifts to fulfill that purpose. And so my son came to me yesterday, and we were talking, and he asked me, he says, hey, Dad, I'm doing this school project, and I'm having a tough time discerning between what are abilities and what are skill. And I thought it was a really good question. First off, he says, I'm trying to lay this out. And I said, well, first off, you want to understand our abilities are built in. They're often God-given, right? Our abilities are things that we automatically have and they serve us. Skills can be learned. Skills can help us develop our abilities. Skills can help us round out other areas that we are not naturally good at. And so, for example, and my son's 14, he's 6'4", and one of the things he was asking us the other night, he says, yeah, it turns out they were having us do our vert on the wall, and I could dunk a basketball. And so I used that as an example. I said, well, you have the ability to dunk a basketball. You don't have the skill set to dunk a basketball, right? God gave him that ability, but he has to spend time to nurture that and develop that. So what happens is when we find and we practice, when we find our abilities and we practice the skills to complement those, that's when our true gifts are revealed. That is when these are the things that we're good at and that we love doing, and they help us grow in purpose. They help us complement the other people that are around us. They help us complement what it is that we're meant to do in life, and they help us grow our overall purpose. So even, for example, because I have a lot of salespeople that will tune in and watch the show just based on my connections. So going back to like that person, salesperson or marketer doing accounting, right? What happens when we force ourselves to operate outside of our gifts? What happens when we're constantly playing out of position? It becomes uncomfortable. We get aggravated. We get frustrated. But not only are we frustrated by playing out of position, not only are we not playing our best game, so to speak, but our teammates, the people that are around us, they get frustrated. Our peers get frustrated. Our family members, if we're constantly playing outside of the role or outside of our position, if we are constantly not doing anything to excel at those gifts that we're given, then not only do we get frustrated, but so do the people around us, right? So you have to keep in mind, I read this line one time, I think it was John Maxwell that wrote it, and he says, look, where people are put in a position where they don't do well, then most of the time things don't turn out well. So keep that in mind. And I would ask you, well, actually, there's a few things. One, thank you for anybody who is tuning in. I've got some guests from India this morning and all over the place. Vidya, thank you for taking the time to join me. A couple of things. I do have my 30 Days of Bible Verses. This is a 30-day devotional. It's out now on Amazon. So if you enjoy messages like this is a really simple read. It's 2 minutes each morning for 30 days, and then asks a question of what you can do to complement what your reading is for the day. So I would encourage you to take a look at that. For everybody that is tuned in, if you're watching live or if you're watching later, again, if you know somebody that could use this message, please share it with them. You could send it to them in a message, share it out on your social media channel, because there's somebody that this may be speaking to right now that says, man, I've been operating outside of what I should be operating in, and this may help build them up. And I would encourage you, and I would ask you, as we head out right now, what is one of your gifts that you could give to somebody today? What's something that you could do to complement someone else and build them up and improve their day? And when you do that, you'll improve your day. So with that, I very much appreciate you taking the time to tune in and join me. Remember, I do this every single Monday morning, 7 a.m. Mountain Time. So wherever you are tuned in and watching from, I would love for you to tune in and join me. Thank you very much. I hope you have a great day. I hope you have a great week, and God bless you all. We'll talk to you soon, everybody.